The stage lights glared, the cameras whirred, and millions of viewers expected nothing more than another polished celebrity appearance. But what unfolded on live television was nothing short of catastrophic. A revelation so damning, so unexpected, that it tore through the glossy facade Meghan Markle had built for years and left Prince Harry visibly enraged. For the first time, the carefully crafted narrative of estrangement between Meghan and her father, Thomas Markle, was ripped apart before a live audience. Evidence of secret meeting, allegedly arranged quietly, away from press, and deliberately concealed from Harry, was dropped like a bombshell on air. The studio audience gasped. The host struggled to contain the chaos, and Meghan's calm, media-trained smile faltered in real time. Prince Harry, watching as the story unfolded, did not hide his fury. His reaction was not the polished composure of a seasoned royal, but the raw, unfiltered outburst of a man who felt deeply betrayed. After all, Harry had spent years standing by Meghan's side, demonizing Thomas Markle as an opportunist, and painting himself as the loyal husband willing to burn bridges with his own family to protect his wife. Now, confronted with this revelation, he looked less like the devoted protector and more like the man left in the dark. From the moment Meghan entered the royal scene, Harry portrayed Thomas Markle as the great villain of their fairy tale struggle. Paparazzi scandals, stage photographs, and tabloid interviews were the weapons Harry cited when justifying why Meghan had cut him off. To the world, Thomas Markle was an outsider, unworthy of reconciliation. Yet, here it was, proof that Meghan had chosen to meet him in secret. And worse, whispers quickly suggested Harry himself may not have known. This wasn't just about family drama. It was about credibility, power, and betrayal. If Meghan could hide something this significant from her own husband, what did that mean for the countless public statements, interviews, and accusatories the couple had produced together? He had fought wars, both literal and metaphorical, for Meghan. He abandoned his royal duties, clashed with his brother William, and went to war with the British press. And now, the woman for whom he risked everything stood accused of weaving a double life, balancing public estrangement with private reconciliation. The scandal ignited instantly. News outlets around the globe picked up the story within hours. Clips from a live show went viral across social media, dissected frame by frame. Body language experts noted Meghan's stiffened jawline, the twitch of her hands, the way her eyes darted toward the audience when confronted. Was it panic? Was it guilt? But while Meghan's composure cracked, Harry's fury boiled. Reports from behind the scenes painted a vivid picture. Harry storming into the green room after the show, pacing in circles, demanding answers. For a man whose entire public identity was built on loyalty and sacrifice, the optics were catastrophic. He wasn't just a betrayed husband. He was a man who looked foolish, duped on live television in front of millions. Because this wasn't just a revelation about Meghan and her father. This was a revelation about the cracks in the Sussex narrative itself. For years, Meghan and Harry positioned themselves as victims of betrayal, by the press, by the royal family, by anyone who dared question their story. Yet here was proof that they, too, could be guilty of double-dealing. The carefully cultivated narrative of authenticity was unraveling live for all to see. The royal family, quietly watching from across the Atlantic, could hardly contain their satisfaction. After years of public attacks from Harry and Meghan, this moment was nothing short of poetic justice. Palace aides, though officially silent, whispered to journalists that the revelation validated what the monarchy had suspected all along, that Harry had been swept up in a narrative designed to suit Meghan's interests, not the truth. Meanwhile, Thomas Markle himself reemerged into the spotlight with uncanny timing. For years, he had been branded as a villain in Meghan's life. But now, with confirmation of the secret meeting, the public's perception began to shift. He was no longer the estranged, bitter father begging for attention. Instead, he was a man Meghan had chosen to meet in secret, despite her insistence otherwise. His words, previously dismissed, suddenly carried new weight. For Harry, this was the ultimate betrayal, not just because Meghan met her father, but because she had allowed the world, and perhaps even him, to believe otherwise. The man who once cut ties with his brother and father to defend Meghan now stood accused of being blind, gullible, and perhaps even manipulated. Because what was exposed on live television wasn't merely a scandal of family secrets. It was the beginning of a much larger collapse. Meghan's credibility in Hollywood, already fragile, began to falter. Executives whispered about her lack of transparency. Sponsors quietly distanced themselves, and Netflix, the couple's biggest backer, reportedly grew uneasy. If Meghan had lied about Thomas, what did that mean for the truth in their docuseries? For the authenticity of their interviews? For the credibility of their entire brand? The shockwaves that followed this revelation have been nothing short of seismic. As the live TV segment unfolded, with millions of viewers watching across the globe, Meghan's carefully constructed narrative of estrangement from her father began to collapse. The footage, described by insiders as indisputable, painted a very different picture from the one she and Prince Harry have tirelessly defended for years. The moment the cameras captured the word secret meeting, Prince Harry's face reportedly drained of color, his fury impossible to mask. For a man who has built his entire public defense of Meghan on her supposed victimhood in the face of a toxic family, this was a betrayal he could neither control nor contain. The middle of this saga unfolded with layers of contradictions. Meghan has always insisted that her relationship with Thomas Markle ended after the now infamous staged paparazzi photos before her royal wedding in 2018. She portrayed herself as a daughter abandoned, betrayed, and emotionally scarred by her father's alleged disloyalty. Yet, the live broadcast revealed receipts, travel logs, and even leaked footage suggesting that Meghan quietly met Thomas in Los Angeles in 2021, right in the middle of her and Harry's bombshell campaigns against the royal family. To the audience, it wasn't just hypocrisy, it was calculated deception. While Prince Harry railed against the media, the monarchy, and even his own family for failing to protect Meghan, she was allegedly negotiating her own narrative with the very man she swore she cut ties with. The betrayal cuts deeper when you place this revelation against the backdrop of the couple's multi-million-dollar Netflix deal. The documentary Harry and Meghan presented a picture of estrangement so severe that Thomas Markle was shown as an outsider, left begging to see his grandchildren through interviews rather than personal contact. The new information exposes this as, at best, selective storytelling and, at worst, outright dishonesty. Graham Norton's sharp remark during a panel discussion that maybe the royal family weren't the only ones blindsided by carefully edited truths hit like a thunderclap in the studio, leaving Harry visibly livid. He had no comeback, no witty retort. Just a man betrayed on live TV as the walls of his credibility crumbled. What truly inflamed the controversy was not just Meghan's secret meeting, but the timeline of silence. If she had reconciled with Thomas even briefly, why was the world led to believe otherwise? Why were interviews filled with tearful claims of abandonment, while a quiet reunion was kept under wraps? The revelation suggests that this secrecy was not accidental but strategic, a means of controlling the narrative, securing sympathy, and leveraging it against both the royal family and the public at large. Prince Harry, standing firmly at Meghan's side throughout years of media battles, suddenly found himself painted as either complicit or deceived. Neither option looks good. For Harry, this was not just a family matter. It was a reputational earthquake. The man who has demanded the world believe in his and Meghan's truth now faces questions about whether that truth was ever complete. The audience reaction was immediate and damning. Gasps, stunned silence, and then a ripple of awkward laughter as the irony became too heavy to ignore. Harry's angry eruption backstage, where he allegedly shouted about being set up and sabotaged, only made matters worse. Instead of a calm, reasoned defense, the Duke of Sussex looked exactly like what critics have long accused him of being, an impulsive, easily provoked man whose anger often drowns out reason. This unraveling of their narrative feeds directly into the wider accusations of hypocrisy that have dogged the Sussexes for years. They fled the royal family, claiming a need for privacy, yet they inked media deals worth millions to publicize their grievances. They condemned the paparazzi, yet Meghan herself staged high-profile photographs. They painted Thomas Markle as a villain, yet secretly maintained contact when it suited their storyline. Graham Norton's platform became the stage where this tangled web was pulled apart, live, unfiltered, and undeniable. And now, the cracks within Harry and Meghan's own marriage have been thrust into the spotlight. Sources close to the couple claim that Meghan's secrecy around the meeting with her father was not shared with Harry until after the fact. If at all, that omission alone has reportedly triggered heated rows between them, with Harry accusing Meghan of endangering everything they fought for. Meghan, on the other hand, allegedly argued that reconciling with her father, even temporarily, was a personal matter that Harry could never fully understand. The divide between them, once carefully hidden behind glossy photos and public smiles, is now out in the open for the world to dissect. The end game of the scandal remains uncertain, but what is clear is that the live TV exposure has permanently altered public perception. The Sussexes, who once wielded the narrative of truth and victimhood so effectively, now find themselves on the defensive. Their credibility, already fragile after inconsistencies in their Oprah interview and Netflix series, has taken a devastating blow. Prince Harry's fury may be genuine, but cannot undo the damage done by a secret that directly contradicts the foundation of their public image. The very audience they sought to captivate is now left questioning. If they can mislead about something so personal, what else might have been crafted for the cameras? This scandal closes a loop that the title promised. It is not just another tabloid rumor, but a moment of live television that exposed the deepest hypocrisy of a couple who built their brand on transparency. Harry's eruption was real, his sense of betrayal palpable, and Meghan's carefully maintained facade has cracked beyond repair.